Alright, let's make some asparagus. First thing we need is our pattern piece, and our pattern piece is about a 2 by 5.5 inch rectangle. We're going to stick that in the corner of this moss colored felt and trace around with a pen. Then you're going to want to cut out on the line, and I've done that here. The next thing you're going to need to do is cut out some little green triangles. Need 3 of them. And we're going to arrange them so they are all going in the same direction. I like to stagger them. Now we're going to machine sew these on, or you could hand stitch them on. That's up to you. This is me machine sewing these triangles on, or you could hand stitch them on. And arrange them. Just don't put them too close to the edge. With the triangles face up, we need to fold this over. Remember what directions these triangles are going on, because we want them to point in the direction that's going to be left open. We're going to fold this over, and we're going to stitch all along the edge here, these two sides together all the way to the top. But we're going to leave this side open, and again, that should be pointing towards the open side. This is what your asparagus should look like now. Now you can trim a little bit of this excess off. And now we'll flip this inside out. Flipping this inside out can be a little tricky. You want to pinch the edges and start it by pushing it in here. Then take your stick and put it in there and just kind of work it down the stick. And push those little edges out. Now we're ready to stuff it. Get your stuffing out, whatever kind you like to use. I like polyfill because I like the way it bounces back. You just push it all the way to the end, a little bit at a time, because if you try to do a bunch at a time, you'll end up with uneven stuffing. I like to stuff these nice and firm so they don't flop over. So keep stuffing it down and then put the stuffing all the way to the top. Okay, I've stuffed my asparagus all the way to the top, and now we need to make the tip to our asparagus. This is what the pattern looks like for the tip of our asparagus. We need 2 pieces of green felt, that can just be scraps, and we need to trace around with a pen. Can leave the bottom open, leave that part open. But I'd like to put a little dot at the end so I know where it ends. Now you're going to machine sew on the line. Okay, I've machine sewn on the line. And now I'm going to cut about 1/8 of an inch around that seam line. There. Now we're going to flip this inside out. Now we're going to take our stuffing and stuff a little bit into this here. Now, take your already completed asparagus and get it in there. Now I like to line up, there's only one side stitch line because it's folded in half, but I like to line it up with the stitch line here before I sew this on. So now you have it like this. If yours is a little loose, you can stick a pin through there. Like that. Just don't poke yourself. Alright, now we're going to get out a needle and thread and sew it on. Okay, I have my needle and thread now, and I'm going to start from where the seam line is, going underneath, so we hide that knot, go in to the asparagus part, and at an angle and out the tip of the asparagus. You can hear the train outside my loft. And you're going to continue this all the way around. In, angle, out, in, angle, out. Oh, get around that pin. In, angle, out, in, angle, out. Now when I get to the last one, I usually go over to the side and get into that second stitch there, and then I tie it there. Then I call this hiding the tail. Push it back in, out another spot, pull tight, and snip. And there's your asparagus. Now go make a bunch of them because asparagus usually aren't by themselves. If you get one piece of moss felt and one piece of green felt, you'll have enough to make over 18 asparagus. So happy asparagus sewing!